My first cybersecurity job was actually not what I thought it was going to be. It was not what anyone told me cybersecurity was going to be. And yeah, there should just be more information, more transparency out there around these entry-level, quote-unquote, cybersecurity jobs. So I got my first cybersecurity job like a year after I graduated college. Had a hard time finding a job. Went on LinkedIn, posted on LinkedIn. Dude who ran an MSP, managed service provider, saw it and was like, "Do you want to work for my MSP?" And I was like, "Sure, I'm desperate." Long story short, if you want the longer explanation, there's a video on my channel. But yeah, posted on LinkedIn, MSP owner saw it, hired me on to work for his MSP. While I was working for his MSP, I was also doing a day job of a information technology teacher. So he kind of brought me on, didn't pay me for 6 months because I had to like learn the ropes or whatever. Yeah, just did like a bunch of help desk with no pay. And then 6 months later, I got paid $25 an hour to do help desk, but also if you work for a small company, you have to wear a lot of hats. So I was doing help desk, security stuff, setting up SIEMs, security tool testing like EDRs, setting up detection rules, going to conferences, sales engineering, analyzing vulnerabilities and then communicating them to clients, and then also help desk, also all while getting paid $52,000 a year. So I was working like 4 hours a night on help desk, no pay. 6 months later, got hired under contract at $52,000 a year, then was doing all the stuff that I listed. And then I would be like, hey, I can't afford to live. Like $52,000 in the US doesn't get you very far. So I was like, is there a way that I could get a raise, like, so I can afford to live? Because at the time I was like living in my parents' basement, like, because you can't really afford anything on that salary. Can't pay bills, can't pay rent. So I was like, hey, could I perhaps get a raise for all this stuff that I'm doing? And he was like, yeah, we don't have it in budget, we'll talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And that was going on for like 4 months. So I started applying to other jobs naturally. I got a job offer at this other MSP, like the day that we were flying back from a conference. So I sent him over the job offer. I was like, hey, these guys need to answer today. They're going to pay me $75,000 a year to be a GRC analyst, in a sense. I was like, I need to make more money. So I'm like, just letting you know, they sent me an offer. And then he was like, oh, we can actually match that. I'll start paying you $75,000 a year. We magically just got money. So that's how that was negotiated. I stayed with that MSP. He paid me $75,000 a year. And then, moved on to other things after that MSP. But yeah, I mean, all the while configuring EDRs, SIEMs, security tool testing, doing like vulnerability scanning, some like penetration testing for like compliance, obviously, finding vulnerabilities in client systems from our SIEM, then communicating that to them to try and make more sales, to upsell cybersecurity services. So yeah, I mean, definitely a journey, and definitely not what I thought. When I thought I was getting into cybersecurity, I thought I'd be sitting behind a desk looking at logs all day, which in a bigger company, yeah, sure, if you're in a SOC. But if you're for a very small company, which I have always worked for very small companies, you wear a lot of hats and you just do a lot of things, which is good for like learning, but then you're like, I need money to live, and then so sometimes money outweighs learning. So yeah, it's just not really what I thought it was. Doesn't mean that it's bad, just means it's different. Yeah, but now, as everyone knows, I've just been doing content stuff, tech content, which has started to actually pay more than my monthly salary that I get at my current job. So, that's great. Really like that. So, you know, there's a bright side to most things. So, yeah, that's just kind of the story about how my first cybersecurity paycheck fucking sucked. And they definitely don't pay you as much as you think they're going to pay you. Yeah, so that's it. Sorry, it's a little rambly. I'm just at this park. I'm traveling, scootering around the city, found a park, popped a squat, figured I'd film a video. So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, punch all the buttons in the face as always, and I'll see you in the next one.